Does this voice sound familiar? Well, it should, 'cause it's your boy Bruce. Hey guys, it's Bruce, but you probably already knew that because I got 10,000 subscribers now. Thank you all so much. As you can see, I'm not using the green screen. It's behind me, and this here's a guitar amp that I've been sitting on in my past few videos. So there's a little fun fact for you. I've been sitting on a guitar amp. I just got back from the greatest city in the world. The greatest city in the world. And if you didn't know, that's New York. I go to New York not just for the atmosphere, the restaurants, the flashing lights in Times Square, or the drunk frat boys wearing shorts getting wasted. The thing that always makes my trip to New York mandatory is the theater. That's theater R-E, not E-R. It's a theater thing, you just wouldn't understand. That's one thing I don't talk about much here because I'm sure it's a subject that a lot of you don't give two shits about. Maybe three. I went a little overboard this year when it came to books and scripts, so I figured it's only fitting to make a video about my purchases to pay loving memory to the money I once had. A majority of these purchases came from the wonderful drama bookshop. You need a little drama in your life. Fuck you! So here's my 2023 New York book haul, if you can call this a haul. I don't know, I think I've said this in a previous video, I don't know what counts as a haul. Does it have to be a specific number? Most of these are play scripts for me to add to my ever-growing collection, and this is just the tip of the iceberg, and these are all scripts I already had, so we're not going to be discussing any of them today. Except for this one right here. Look at that. Puna the f*** dog. And other plays for children. I don't think they're really for children. Okay, the first script I'm probably gonna start reading is The Squirrels by Robert Askins. Robert Askins wrote Hand to God. Hand to God is just about the funniest thing I have ever seen on Broadway. No, it's definitely the most fun I've had in a straight play, with the one exception being The Cursed Child. It's very raunchy, like dark humor. So, right up my alley, The Squirrels. Says it's about race and equality, but the characters are squirrels! I'm dead serious! I can't wait to read this! The Squirrels! Here's a play named after a kid that used to bully me in high school, Teenage Dick. You know who you are. It's a retelling of Shakespeare's Richard III, only the main character is a 16-year-old with cerebral palsy. And I'm actually going to school to work with kids with disabilities, so yeah, this'll be fun. She Kills Monsters. Sounded interesting. Let's look at the title of this script. 7 Methods of Killing Kylie Jenner. I have no idea what to expect from this. Sounds like it could totally end up being stupid and a waste of my money, but that'll just make me feel better about the stuff I write. Hot and Throbbin'. Gross. Geek. I think this is about a bunch of cosplayers going to a convention, which sounds interesting. On the back it says, with pissed off Pikachus, steampunk armies, stood up Sailor Moons, and rollerblading monsters on the prowl. How do I not pick it up after I've read that? I'd have to be crazy. Granted, I already am, but crazier. Okay, here's 2 plays in one book. Untitled Feminist Show and Straight White Men. And I think Straight White Men went to Broadway, didn't it? But I didn't see it. And it is called Straight White Men. And I'm all 3 of those things, so I have no idea what it's about, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's about straight white men. And then, if I like it, I'll read the newer one, Untitled Feminist Show. Now, when I go to New York, there's always a show or 2 I wanted to see, but didn't, because I have limited space on my schedule. So I bought 2 scripts to shows I didn't get to see. Prima Facie, which is about a lawyer who gets sexually assaulted, and Jodie Comer, she won the Olivier for this, so it must be good. And the show won Best Play at the Oliviers, as did this other one, Life of Pi. And the funny thing is, neither of them are up for Best Play at the Tonys, so must be a really good year. Another show that opened this season, which closed before I could get there, is Cost of Living, and it's signed by the author, or playwright, even though I don't see it here. Oh, there it is. See it? It's also about people with disabilities, which is what I'm studying for. So here's a show that opened last season on Broadway, and I did get to see it, and it was hilarious, and so I bought the script. And that's POTUS. Funny show. And here's the script to A Strange Loop, last year's winner for Best Musical. And I think this is the script from its off-Broadway run. So they might have changed some things. Maybe I'll get along to reading it. Some of these things are going to just sit here and I'm not going to read them for a long time. That's part of, being on that shelf. But being on that shelf is an honor in itself. Here's 2 more scripts from shows that played last season. Clyde's, which is about a bunch of ex-criminals or ex-convicts that work at a diner or something. So I can relate to that. Not really. And then How I Learned to Drive, which is by the same author, Paula Vogel, who wrote that Hot and Throbbin'. Sounds pretty messed up, but so does Hot and Throbbin', so lady must have a dirty mind, huh? But so do I. And lastly, I got 2 books of scripts, Claire Barron and Craig Lucas. If I'm bored, I'll read them. Now, here's all the other stuff I got. 'Cause I'm a movie buff, right? So I got a bunch of movie scripts here. We're gonna go over them. The Shooting script. I love these. And, a lot of casual moviegoers out there are probably like, why do you want the script if you could just watch the movie? And those people are just ignorant. It's fun to have the script. And a lot of these were a steal. Well, a lot of them look used, so that's why. The first 2, I did pay full price for them, but American Beauty and The Wonderful Little Miss Sunshine. 2 wonderful Oscar-winning scripts. Glad to have them. And these 4 were all less than $5 each. So the big one is Slumdog Millionaire. I'm really happy to have this. It's a wonderful movie, and therefore a wonderful script. Aaron Brockovich, which I've only seen once. Don't remember much about it. The Truman Show, which, now that I think of it, I may have also only seen it once. But I'm sure I'll get around to watching it a second time. And until then, I got the script. And lastly, a movie I haven't seen, The Ice Storm, but I definitely will now. And it might actually be fun to read the script first and then watch the movie. That's what they tell you to do in, film school. Stuff like that. And this isn't one of the shooting scripts, but it's Before Sunrise and Before Sunset, 2 Richard Linklater films. And he is wonderful. Boyhood is one of, if not my very favorite movie. I wish I had the script for that, but I know they probably didn't have a shooting script because they shot it over the course of 12 years. But I got this. And if you've ever seen some of his movies, they're kind of slow. They don't have a lot of action in them. But maybe that's why I like them. Because my brain can't comprehend such subject matter. Jagged Little Pill, the novel based on a show that opened... it opened before the pandemic and then it closed after it reopened. So I was pretty disappointed I didn't get to see it. But I've seen a bootleg of it and I have this. It's not the same. Next, I got some books on filmmaking, screenwriting, cheap movie tricks, how not to make a short film, and the screenplay workbook. This one I kind of already regret buying. It's so big and I have to fill out a lot of stuff, so Kevin Smith, his films and fans. Kevin Smith is like the king of independent films, like cheap films, so I can learn a lot from this. Even if I use it to make YouTube videos opposed to, short films you would put in a film festival or something. Gotta start somewhere. Then there's this book, Oscar Wars, which I'm actually kind of surprised I didn't already pre-order this, but it was at the store, so I got it. And we all know I love the Oscars, right? I got 2 Broadway programs here. One is for Shucked, which was a very fun musical. They didn't have these out where they were selling souvenirs, but I asked the lady, and she pulled one out for me. So thank you, lady. Also, Wicked. I'm having so much Wicked withdrawal with the movie coming out. I got a plan to see it the next time it comes even remotely close to my city. I have another one back there, but this one's newer. And I'm one of those people. Go figure. And speaking of Wicked withdrawal, I actually bought the novel, which I'm not going to sit down and read this because it's small, paperback. I wasn't going to read it anyways, but I might want to fish through it. And it's good just to have it as a Wicked fan. I kind of have to have it. Now, I'm sure you've heard Phantom of the Opera closed recently. And so I got this. It's a graphic novel of the musical. Seems like a pretty cool concept. Musical theater, and it's, see, theater RE, but it's just a bunch of dogs. How cute is that? This is another one you can't say no to. Look, they're wicked dogs. A waitress. And when I went to LA in December, I got this book at the Academy of Motion Pictures Museum. It's dogs in film, so I got dogs in theater and in film. I will never be a crazy old Catwoman, because not only am I not a woman, but, you know, if I'm old and I'm single and I have dogs, which we know is not going to happen. Shut up. All right, in the last book, it's not movie or musical theater related. A lot of the celebrity memoirs that have come out lately, I've gotten behind them. Like, of course, I brought up Jeanette McCurdy, how I'm glad my mom died. And then, you know, Matthew Perry's book was really big, and Tom Felton's. I was hoping that this would be the next one to be a New York Times bestseller and everyone talk about it the way they did with those other books. And it didn't. I wanted it to so badly because I feel kind of embarrassed to have bought it, but I was just so curious. And this is Rated X by Madeline Ward. For those of you who don't know, Madeline Ward was an actress who was on Boy Meets World, who quit Hollywood and became a porn star. And while I don't look at porn myself, I have questions. I'm sorry, I do. Wearing no clothes on your own terms is a lot different from being naked for someone else. Well, I didn't know that. See, I'm learning from this book already, and I haven't even read a single page. Eyelashes in porn are the equivalent of your mom's warnings to always wear fresh underwear. You don't want to get hit by a car and possibly die or be fucked without them? Questions will be answered. And lastly, I guess I can show you my the playbills for the shows I saw. Okay, so Sweeney Todd, it was pretty good. Some Like It Hot, probably my least favorite of all the musicals I saw, but it was still decent. Peter Pan Goes Wrong. I saw a preview of Grey House, and I hate seeing Broadway previews, but it was creepy, which I love. It had some problems, but I was glad I saw it. Kimberly Akimbo, really good. You're Shucked. I already said it. It's stupid in the best possible way. And Juliet, which I loved. It was everything I wanted it to be. And that's it. So if you want to subscribe, of course you can. Maybe someday I'll get around to looking at some of these other books like Puna the Dog. And I know you want that. So stay tuned for more Bruce.
I'll wait for you forever.
It will be worth the wait.